First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
An investigation into the arrest of a robbery suspect is underway after that arrest took place during the middle of a Sunday church service. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Juan Chaoui.
And I'm Roches. Parishioners worshiping were interrupted after officers chased the suspect into the Gainesville Christian Center. The report said he was tased while children were present. WUFT's Sofia Mendez is live outside the church this evening. Sofia, both the city and church leaders are upset about how the arrest was handled.
This is exactly where this incident happened. Concerns are being raised after a suspect ran into a church service this past Sunday. This happened right off of Northeast 16th Avenue. Churchgoers were just very startled by this event. The suspect, Anthony Gainey Jr., was immediately captured and taken into custody within the church. He was arrested for petty theft, resisting an officer, and attempting to escape. Gainesville City Manager Cynthia Curry released a statement saying, "It is also extremely upsetting to me that this occurred in the presence of families."
Too traumatic for him. It was too traumatic for him. And for elderly people, they should have handled it differently.
Beverly says the situation raised safety and security concerns. The community wants to know something like this might be handled in the future. GPD is currently reviewing the incident. Anthony Gainey Jr. is currently in custody. This is the spot where the incident exactly happened. The story continues to unfold as GPD still continues to review the situation. However, Sunday services will continue this Sunday here at the Gainesville Christian Center. Reporting live from the Gainesville Christian Center, Sofia Mendez, WUFT News.
Thank you, Sofia. The mother of a toddler who shot and killed himself in August of 2022 was sentenced to 10 years in prison this morning. Kayla Carter changed her original plea of not guilty to no contest during the hearing, avoiding a trial that was set for early January. She will instead serve out 3 concurrent sentences, 10 years for negligent aggravated manslaughter of a child and 5 years each for 2 counts of child neglect. Carter will receive 784 days credit for the time she has already spent in jail.
Levy County Emergency Management is starting the last round of hurricane debris pickup. They say the last day to put out vegetative debris will be November 8th. This includes leaves, logs, plants, and tree branches. Crews will finish picking up debris by November 22nd. You can call the Levy County Road Department at the number on your screen to schedule a pickup for construction and demolition debris. Alachua County residents have a new timeline for hurricane debris pickup. You may have noticed piles of debris in many North Central Florida neighborhoods. That's because the state of Florida debris contractors are focusing on debris pickup down south after Hurricane Milton. Alachua County commissioners are trying to lure more debris pickup contractors to the area. They are now paying contractors $15 per cubic yard collected. That's up from $9.
The Alachua County Commission committed at their recent meeting to do everything possible to expedite the pickup of the debris.
The first debris pickup for all Alachua County residents will be no later than November 22nd.
Taking a live look outside on our DOT cams where we could see it's been a cloudy day. This is I-75 over Paynes Prairie. UF forecaster Matthew Clark joins us live in the studio. Matthew, you've been tracking when sunny skies might start breaking through.
Yeah, we may not see total sunny skies tonight. It is still pretty overcast outside looking over our campus cam with temperatures 80 degrees, feeling like 79 degrees. Some pretty dark clouds off to the west right now. We get some winds from the northeast around 9 miles per hour. Now we do have some rain on the radar, which feels like for the first time in weeks that we've seen some rain. Zooming in on a couple showers just moving to the west towards Gainesville right now. Looking like it's going to start to hit Paynes Prairie as we head into the top of the hour. Some stronger storms up in Bradford County as well. Temperatures across the rest of the area though, 79 degrees in Gainesville, 77 in Stark, and 80 up in Jacksonville as we head into those overnight hours as well. Those temperatures are going to drop off into the 60s. Pretty cloudy skies as we head into tomorrow morning.
It's 1 week from Election Day, and both presidential candidates are making their closing pitch. Vice President Harris will deliver what some say is her most important speech in the nation's capital tonight. Meanwhile, former President Trump is working to counter her message. As Bree Jackson reports, both are making a last-minute push to energize their supporters.
And listen, hey, on this a critical moment in the 2024 presidential race.
We're going to fight like hell for the next 7 days.
Are we ready to vote? ready to win. Vice President Harris making the case that the former president is a threat to democracy. Preparations are underway for her to deliver her closing argument from the ellipse as a reminder of the day that Trump urged his supporters to go to the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
It's either going to be Donald Trump sitting behind that desk, writing out his enemies list of who he's going to seek revenge and retribution on.
Harris sending an optimistic message about the country's future if she's elected.
We are fighting for a democracy. We're not about the enemy within.
Former President Trump arguing that Harris is the one dividing the country.
A campaign of destruction. But really, perhaps more than anything else, it's a campaign of hate.
After backlash from remarks made at his Madison Square Garden rally, where a comedian called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage, today the former president saying,
The love in that room, it was breathtaking.
Former President Trump zeroing in on immigration, highlighting personal stories of Americans hurt by migrant crime, and laying out his solutions if elected to a second term, which include imposing a prison sentence for illegal border crossers.
They serve 10 years in prison. They won't come back. And if that's not long enough, we'll have to do something else. But we don't want them back.
Both candidates making the argument that they should lead the country. Voters will have the final say. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
A political battle over abortion rights is giving Floridians the opportunity to vote on one of the nation's most divisive issues. Proposed Amendment 4 has spurred unprecedented opposition by Governor Ron DeSantis, several lawsuits, and tens of millions of dollars in advertising in the run-up to next week's election. The proposed constitutional amendment came about after DeSantis and the Republican-controlled legislature last year approved a law to largely prevent abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. DeSantis has crossed the state over the past week attacking the proposal.
Under this amendment, they can green light an abortion up to the moment of birth. According to this. That is just nuts. And I think most people think it's nuts.
Amendment supporters, including Florida Democratic Party Chairwoman Nikki Fried, argue that the 6-week law prevents many women from obtaining abortions and threatens the health of women who have pregnancy complications.
The fact of the matter is, a vast majority of Floridians want to have access to reproductive health care.
While Florida's 6-week law is considered one of the country's strictest abortion restrictions, it includes exemptions for a pregnant woman's health and for cases of rape and incest up to 15 weeks of pregnancy.
WUFT and WRUF have you covered on election night. Tune into Cox Channels 5 and 6 for live team coverage of local city and county races, state amendments, and the race for the White House. Our coverage begins when the polls close on November 5th at 7 p.m. And if you can't get to a TV, you can listen in at FM 89.1 and 90.1, in addition to WUFT.org. Halloween preparations are underway across the state. Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, we'll hear more from one neighbor who's been bringing back holiday traditions for the past 35 years.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Bulwer Springs Nature Park, Gainesville's original water source, is one step closer to getting a major revitalization project in the works. Wild Spaces and Public Places, who manages construction projects for Gainesville's Department of Parks, Recreations, and Cultural Affairs, set up a workshop to discuss the planning phase of the project. They estimate a budget of around $3.5 million. The next step involves requesting permits, which could take 3 to 6 months. Construction is expected to begin next spring.
The University of Florida board is starting the process to hire its next president. This morning, UF announced the team making up the Presidential Search Advisory Committee. We told you back in July, former President Ben Sasse resigned, citing health reasons for his wife. Ken Fox was appointed as interim president shortly after.
One man's mission to bring the Halloween spirit back to his hometown starts with his front lawn. Brad Simpson's lawn has become a Gainesville Halloween tradition. Every year, over 30 spooky inflatables and animatronics fill up his entire lawn. Simpson's mission is one rooted in nostalgia. Growing up in Gainesville, he recalls the excitement that once radiated from the community during the holidays.
I like seeing the joy, because understand that people don't trick or treat as much as they do or do a lot of Christmas stuff, so it's bringing back the old school traditions.
After 55 years of setting up extravagant displays, Simpson says he doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. His not-so-spooky display is fun for all ages and features a selfie spot. Guests are welcome to stop by from 6 to 10 p.m. until November 3rd.
While there is opportunity for Halloween fun, the Gainesville Police and Fire Department has released some tips to help celebrate the holiday safely. A point of emphasis is pedestrian safety. Between 2011 and 2020, more child pedestrians died in crashes on Halloween than of any other holiday of the year. They say you should use reflective gear and carry flashlights. Trick-or-treaters should stay in groups and stay in well-lit areas. They also say to be aware of traffic and to examine treats before eating them. GPD asks that pedestrians keep emergency contacts on hand in case of emergency.
We're seeing some rain on our radar for the first time in weeks. I'll have that and our Halloween forecast coming up after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
It hasn't been the prettiest day out there. We woke up seeing a lot of clouds, and we have seen some sunshine today, but back again, we are seeing those clouds again. A couple blue skies shining through for the most part. Temperature 74 degrees with winds from the north-northeast around 9 miles per hour. Glancing off on our West Campus cam, still overhead clouds, some sunshine shining through for the most part. We do see some rain on our radar, though, for the first time in weeks. It's been since about Milton that we've seen consistent rain. And zooming in on Alachua County here, just south of Gainesville, heading towards 75 right now. We do have a pretty strong shower heading there right now. So if you are driving on 75 right now, you could get some passing showers. Stark and Lake Butler into Union County could see some rain heading towards 75 towards the west right now. Temperatures for Gainesville right now, 75 degrees, 79 over in Ocala, and 74 over in Stark. Some cooler temperatures up here just because they're seeing some rain and some overhead cloud coverage. As we head into our hour by hour and into tonight, though, temperatures are going to drop into the upper 60s with some overhead cloud coverage for the most part. So it is going to be a nice night with those rain chances going to subside as we head into tonight. When we're waking up tomorrow, though, some early fog is going to be possible, waking up in the upper 60s. And as we head into the afternoon, it could be a windy afternoon with some gusts up to 20 miles per hour, temperature reaching around 84 degrees. Not going to feel nearly as hot, though, as it is going to be in the summer. Now, Halloween is Thursday. It's going to be a pleasant chill outside, little humidity, and no rain is expected on Halloween. And when you're going out on Halloween night to trick or treat, those sunny skies and gusty winds are going to be present around 4. And as we head into the overnight hours, scary clear night skies, temperatures in the mid 70s. And as we head into midnight, welcome to November, 69 degrees as we head into November 1st. Tropical outlook, still hurricane season for another month, 40% chance in the Western Caribbean. A lot of models have it going off into the Atlantic Ocean, so not much of concern right now. Still a lot to change, though. It would be patty if it were to develop, but for the most part, we are going to be keeping an eye on it as we head into this week. Those sunny skies are going to continue. Possible storm near Cuba this weekend, and just to expect changes, keep following that forecast. Nothing to be afraid of right now. Florida, Georgia is also this weekend. Kickoff in Jacksonville at 3:30 with temperatures reaching around 80 degrees, and hopefully the Gators win as we head into the post game. 75 degrees over there, over in Jacksonville. For the rest of the week, though, we see that pumpkin on Thursday for Halloween. Temperatures pretty constant, 84 degrees across the board from Wednesday all the way up into next Tuesday, and those lows are going to be in the 60s as well.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
The Yankees and Dodgers will meet back at Yankee Stadium for Game 4 this evening, with first pitch set for 8:08 p.m. Luis Gil will take to the mound for New York, while Ben Casparis will get the start for LA. Now let's head on back down to Gainesville, where we will be flipping from the diamond to the hardwood. The Florida Gators women's basketball team is set to return to the court for the first time in 7 months tomorrow as they prepare to face off against Flagler College in an exhibition game. Florida finished last season with a record of 16 wins and 16 losses, good for 11th in the SEC. Despite losing multiple key contributors this offseason, the Gators' future still looks promising, as highly touted freshmen Liv McGill and Miara O'Neal are set to make an instant impact. Meanwhile, 2024 All-SEC freshman honoree Layla Reynolds will look to take the next step into her rising stardom this fall.
The vibes have been good on campus. Everybody just ready to get along with each other, learn one another, and play some good basketball. I think we're really willing to learn and adapt to the new situations and whatever the coaches are throwing at us.
Florida's exhibition game against Flagler is set to tip off at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center tomorrow at 7 p.m. While the Gators women's basketball team prepares to tip off its new season, Florida soccer will be facing its fall curtain call just a few miles away. The Gators will take to the pitch at Donald R. Disney Stadium tomorrow for their season finale against the Tennessee Volunteers. Florida has all but crumbled in its final month of the 2024 campaign, going 0-4-1 in its last 5 contests. Following a 1-0 loss to Oklahoma this past Sunday, the Gators clinched a bottom 2 slot in the Southern Eastern Conference, thus officially eliminating them from SEC tournament contention. Florida will look to at least end its season on a high note against the Volunteers tomorrow, with kickoff time set for 7 p.m. Now let's head on back over to the gridiron, where the Florida Gators football team is gearing up for a showdown against the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs this weekend. Florida is fresh off a bye week following a statement 48-20 win over the Kentucky Wildcats 2 weekends ago. While the Gators will have their work cut out for them against a heavily favored Bulldog squad, this rivalry matchup has already generated plenty of excitement among fans and players alike. UF edge rusher and Jacksonville native Jack Pyburn knows better than anyone what will be at stake at this coming weekend.
I've been to every single game since I have memory of what Florida Georgia is. And growing up in that environment and really truly knowing what this game is like, you know, it makes or breaks some people's year for them.
The Gators and Bulldogs will tangle once more at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville this Saturday, with kickoff set for 3:30 p.m. And finally, the Indianapolis Colts announced today that quarterback Anthony Richardson will be benched this weekend in favor of veteran signal caller Joe Flacco. Richardson was a top 5 pick in the 2023 NFL draft coming out of UF, but he has heavily struggled in his first 2 seasons under center with the Colts.
I gotta say, even though you present your sports side so much, I want to poke a little bit at the fun side of Jack. Jack, what are you doing for Halloween?
I can confirm that I will be in attendance at Halloween Horror Nights, hopefully sporting some earplugs and not losing my voice due to all the screaming that I will be doing. What about you? What are you guys looking up to this Thursday?
Well, unfortunately, I will be in class until 8 o'clock.
Me
so
too. Scarier than anything else, my gosh.
I'm going back to bed. How about you?
I will be joining Jack Meyer in attendance at Halloween Horror Nights on Thursday. Now, the weather this weekend, though, it's not looking too scary along with Halloween. Now, Thursday, we see those temperatures at 84 degrees with the lows in the 60s, and across the board all the way throughout next week and into the weekend. It's going to be a nice weekend up for heads.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all of our social media platforms. Enjoy your evening and have a good night.